couple of episodes back, Gary mentioned he's been shooting at Ottawa Archers. Said the club's been making some great changes lately.
And then Bruno came on and talked about what it takes to raise the level of 3D here in Ontario.
So today we're heading straight to the source, the brains behind Ottawa Archers.
Episode 10, The Ottawa Way, starts right now.
Pow.
So we've heard some really good things about Ottawa Archers, so we figured it was time to talk to the man behind the course. Julien Simard, welcome to the show, buddy. How's it going?
Thanks, I'm on, boys.
Welcome, brother.
It's our pleasure.
Welcome. I haven't shot at Ottawa yet, but I've seen the photos.
Yeah, no, it looks like a real tough course. Looks like there's a lot of fun shots out there. And Julien, you run it, eh? Is that right?
Yes, I do. I've been running it for this will be my second full year running it now. The 3D side.
Nice.
So you're the 3D director there, correct?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
How'd that come to be for you to be a 3D director?
I had heard about Ottawa Archers like out of the blue. I don't even know. I think I just Googled like Ottawa archery ranges one day. And I've been a member there for, I think, 4 years now. This will be my 4th year. And I was actually shooting at a sand pit down the road from there. I'd bring a target, my 18-1, I'd throw it as far as I could, and I would shoot my 18-1 all day. And little did I know, there was a full 3D range and FIDA field not even 3 minutes down the road. So I started going there, and then I started helping out like range cleanup days and started helping out setting up the course and stuff like that. And I had never shot 3D before. My first ever 3D event was I think 2022 at Porcupine Hollow was my first ever time shooting 3D. So like a full 3D tournament. So I just kind of fell into place. The lady that was doing the 3D director role at Ottawa didn't want to do it anymore. So I got an email one day. I'd kind of shown interest in doing it, and I was kind of shadowing her. And I got an email one day that from the president. She was like, "Hey, like, are you ready?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready."
Yeah. So how did you get started in archery?
So one of my buddies was selling a Matthews solo cam way back in the day, and I was like, "Oh, I feel like I'd love to shoot a bow. Like, that'd be fun." And bought the solo cam off of him and shot a bit in the backyard, but like could never really get a hang of it. And then it'd be about, I don't know, 3 years after that, I picked up a Hoyt, started shooting it more. But like we have a lack of archery shops, and I'm sure people say that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But like in Ottawa, that like, and Gary's been very vocal about it. Like there's a big lack of archery shops that will help you and give you the time. And especially like I'm sure they probably hear it all the time, but like I've seen people set up bows on YouTube. I've seen this. I've seen John Dudley do this. Can you guys help me out with this? And they're like, no, we only do that with tournament bows. Now that I have this in my house and know how to work on bows, my tournament bow does not shoot a perfect bullet hole through paper. My hunting bow has to shoot a perfect bullet hole through paper. So like that, I think they were just saying that because they knew that I was a newer person into the sport, and I wouldn't challenge them on it. But I think that's one thing that held me back, sadly, when I started in archery. And I have a few friends that did the same thing. Like they bought bows and they got into it, and then they're like, I just can't get it to shoot right, and I don't want to go try to harvest an animal with it because I'm not guaranteed doing it. So. But now with the community that we're growing, it's starting to pick up a lot more. And like I've had plenty of people from Ottawa Archers come here, and there's people that have heard about Ottawa Archers through coming here for me to work on their bow, and then now they're range safety officers at the club.
Well,
like
awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's it's hard to grow a club, like and we'll probably get into that a little bit later, but I know, like and we can just go back and forth about what, because I run Royal City Bowman. I have Justin's my property manager, so he does the 3D course. So he's he sort of does what you do there at Ottawa, and then Misha does a lot of our socials, and so that's why they're so good. But so he does a great job at that. But so yeah, so now you've started in archery. A couple of years later, you're the 3D director at Ottawa. Like, I guess, tell us about some of your 3D experience. Like, I know you've been to TAC because I saw
Yep.
I saw that on Caribou. What's been your most memorable 3D shoot so far?
Most memorable, probably like Total Archery Challenges are awesome. I'm a competitive person, so I do like the whole, like, whenever I go to TAC and I'm with a buddy, I'll try to do like a best ball kind of deal. No, not a best ball, but like a match play. So like I win this target, you win that target, like closest to center of the IBO ring. Most memorable shoots though, like it's crazy how participating in a shoot is awesome, but hosting a shoot and having people come up to you afterwards and say like, hey, like this was the best shoot I've been to around here, like, or like in the Ottawa region or stuff like that. And then I tell them, I'm like, well, there's a lot around here too. Like there, but most memorable shoot would probably be my first year at Porcupine Hollow. Like I met so many lifelong friends now, like just getting peer group with people the next day and stuff like that. Like I didn't know a single person there. Like I didn't know anyone from Ottawa because back then I would go to Ottawa to the range and there was no one there really in the evenings or in the day. So there was people that I ended up getting peer grouped with Matt Albert on day 2. And he was like, you're from Ottawa? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I live in Barhaven. He's like, oh, I live in Richmond, which is 10 minutes away from each other. And he's like, oh, you shoot at Ottawa? I'm like, yeah. And we had never met before, Definitely my first year at Porcupine. I'll never forget it. Like
it's crazy just how going to one event can create such good friends, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like my first event was at Royal City. Shot with some people I haven't met before, and I'm good friends with them. Shot the SCC. I met Josh from Caribou Media, my second day peer group, and now we're good friends. And like everybody, like Gary and CJ from Full Draw, shot with them at an event. Like the people that you meet at just a single event that's what makes archery so fun. So you can just grow your friends just like that.
Yeah, especially 3D, because when you're doing spot tournaments, there's not as much of that camaraderie. I find like you get in that 4-man group and you're shooting one arrow at a time there's not a lot much else to do except chat about this and that, and people always want to know about your bow and they want to know about your setup, right? Especially if you have like a really cool bow and what have you, or something they haven't seen before. So and it's such a like, you don't meet too many for lack of a better term douchebags, I guess. You know what I mean? So,
and you know what, that's one thing I was terrified of when I first joined Ottawa Archers, because I'm like, it is a niche hobby, right? Like growing up skateboarding, BMXing, racing RC cars, stuff like that. Like when you first show up to a skate park that you've never been to, you're like, oh, like what do I expect here? Like you never know what to expect. And my first time going to Ottawa, I was like, oh, is there going to be a bunch of people and they're all going to be talking together? And I'm going to walk through there and just walk right by them and not even acknowledge me. But that is the furthest thing away from it. Like it's as soon as I see someone new come out, or even the other guys at the club, or even at Porcupine and all that stuff, or Royal City, I'm sure is the same way. Like everyone is so welcoming and wants everyone to have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're not, if I just blow someone off, well, like they're just going to go do their thing. They're going to leave and we might never see them again.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. Like when I started Royal City Bowman, I was the membership chairman. And so I'd meet everybody. That's how I knew everybody, because you got to talk to everybody. Right. So, one thing I noticed, like it wasn't, when I first got there wasn't really a community. And I think, and I've said this on the last podcast, and I've said this before, like I think a lot of our, people don't have community anymore. Like nobody goes to church anymore. Nobody does all these things. Right. And I was like, I want to make that, maybe not church, but I want to make something here that, like well, my first year as second year as membership chairman, I started 3D League, and like a lot of guys, they met each other just through that, and they still shoot with one another and that sort of thing, right? Even though League wasn't so popular this year, but the first year, like because they've all paired off and they've all met somebody they like shooting with, right? So and it's kind of, so we kind of created a little mini tournament at the club, and I think I think that's what kind of has built that that feeling of community and almost a family. Like we did a night shoot late September. And yeah, if you ever want to try something fun, like Justin went out, he put out how many?
Sorry, I broke 450 4-inch glow sticks. We lighted each side of the trail, the whole 20 loops. Me and my wife, because she was there. We broke 100 of the wrist bracelets, and we put them around the stakes, and then we put them on the handrails. So like we only did Hunter and K50 because there was no recurve shooters. But yeah, my fingers were sore after. But it was 450 of the 4-inch glow sticks, and oh yeah, like
That's cool.
If I think there's some pictures on our Facebook page, but it's like the trail, it's so black, and then all you see is like the whole trail's lit up with glow sticks. It was wicked.
And
cool.
it's just a fun thing, right? It was an invitation only. We wanted to try it out. I think we had 20 archers show up, and it was a blast. Just a fun time. We had James from Shooter's Choice show up as well. And actually, he had come up with the idea a long time ago, and apparently he'd got it from somebody else, and it's just been passed on. And I always say to other clubs, like, just try it. You guys will have a blast. Like James called it like the poacher's run or something like that, right? Because it's you gotta have heavy duty flashlights,
Spotlights.
It's something else. Yeah. So
that sounds fun.
and those are the kind of things that make memorable 3D events. So like in your mind, like Julien, what do you think makes like for you guys, what you've done so far, what makes a memorable 3D event?
Yeah, so when I first started at Ottawa, when I was shadowing Jenny, who was the ex 3D director, I had this idea of doing a league night, like you're saying, and I was like, okay, on the evenings, we do a 12-round format every summer with a 13th round. The 13th night is an ASA shoot down in the FIDA field. So at the start of the year, we have enough time to shoot 20 targets, but near the end of the year, it starts getting darker sooner. And the one thing with the woods that we're in Ottawa here, it's bush, and it's very heavy tree cover. So in the middle of the summer, in the middle of the day, you got like real bad shadows, and you can barely see some targets. A lot, like most of the targets you can barely see. So when we get into the later part of the year, so we run a 12-night, 12-target ASA league night this year that we did. It was pretty cool. So we had, most nights we had at least 30 guys come out, 30 guys and girls come out. And so every Thursday, at least 30, we reached 40 one night. And one thing that I did the whole time, like since I started doing this league night, I wanted the camaraderie to be there. And from the get-go, I was like, sorry guys, no groups. We flip all the cards over, mix them all up, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's who you guys are shooting with. And it's wild how, and I wanted that because if you shoot with the same people every time, you're going to have a lesser experienced group shooting together all the time. You're going to have the top guys shooting together all the time. And that's robbing the less experienced people of a lot of knowledge that you learn in these 3D shoots. So by doing so, one week, some guy that might have been shooting for less than a year is shooting with someone that's been shooting for 20 years. He learned something. He's like, oh, like, why is he indexing? What's indexing the target? Stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time he comes out, well, he's got a pair of binoculars, and he's shooting with, maybe he brought a buddy and he got paired up with him. And his buddy learns off of him right away, well, I need to index this target. I need to see where these rings are, stuff like that. So that like the camaraderie, like you were saying, is one thing that I tried really hard to push with this league night. Now, obviously, when we host a 3D shoot, people get to pick who they're shooting with, but it's been, the league night has been what really grew Ottawa archers, I think, the last 2 years. Camaraderie, seeing, like, for example, the first year that I shot porcupine, there was a few people from Ottawa. The following year, there was 10, 12, 20.
Yeah.
This year, there must have been at least 20 to 25 people.
Yeah, I think a lot of clubs forget too. It's like you gotta do stuff. You can't just if you don't I was like Val, like my wife and I have belonged to a few clubs, and they, when they don't do anything, it's like I just kind of lose interest, right? Like I can go, like, so right now, I'm obviously I run Royal City, so I shoot there. Well, I don't get to shoot because every time I go out there, everybody wants to talk to me about something else besides shooting. But like I go to Archers of Caledon, and that's the indoor club I belong to, and I also have some outdoor stuff too. And they do some stuff there too, and they run a lot of tournaments there. They do like a really fun event, like they do the glass turkey, which is you're shooting for booze, like a big like a 60 ounce or whatever of like Alberta Premium or something. I can't remember what it is, but I think it's something different every year. So like that's what makes it fun, right? And that's not a serious event. It's kind of like it's a joking event, and guys are busting each other's chops, and the ladies are doing the same. And I think that's what really builds like a good club. And I think a lot of that's being forgotten, and some of the older, more established clubs, I think you just set it up and people will just come, but that's why they're losing membership, right? So
yeah,
and it's kind of a concern, but at least for me, anyways, because I'm about building the community, right? I really think this, like, archery it's a sport that's really worthwhile. It's given me a lot, so I'm always trying to give back to the sports. So
yep.
But and I'm sure that's why you probably volunteered when they asked you to do the 3D director, right? So. And it's fun, like you said, like it's rewarding. Like there are no selfless acts. You're doing it because you get something out of it, right? You get that feedback. You get the feel good about.
I get
yourself,
that feedback, and I've always told the boys too. They're like, "Oh man, like you've made the range so much better. These new targets, all this stuff." And I'm like, at the end of the day, this is where I shoot all the time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the better it is for everyone else, the better it is for me as well, right? So it's been amazing how doing this has made me a better archer. The league night, the reason I love the league night so much is because from the get-go, I've always told myself I'm shooting the league night as well. So when I host a 3D event, like a shoot, there's so much stuff going on at once. There's so many people there. I can either be a good host or I can be a good shot. I can't be both. So the first shoot we had this year, we didn't reach the numbers that I wanted. So I ended up shooting that shoot, and stuff happened in the background while I was trying to focus on shooting. And I told myself I would never do that again. When we have a 3D tournament, I host it. I don't shoot it. I walk around, make sure everything's running smoothly, make sure everyone's having fun, take pictures. But the league night has always been something that I participate in as well. And it gets pretty intense, the league night now, with the numbers that we have. It's pretty fun.
That's good. Yeah, and you want that too, right? You want that competition. It drives everybody to get better. Like when like Justin and I, we shoot together a lot because we're doing a lot of work at the club, and we shoot together a lot. And when we first started, I was kicking his butt, his ass, whatever you want to call it. And now he's got me. So like it's really driving me to. So like I told the guys this year, I said, like I've built this club to where it's at, and next year I want to shoot. So, but I still will never shoot. I never shoot my own event. I did once. It was the Aboriginal Games, and because I'm First Nations, they wanted me to
shoot.
Yeah, they forced me to shoot. I didn't want to, because the other problem is, like, and I've talked to Josh Webb out of Galt about this. He runs Galt, and he's like, if you win, even if it's
bad,
yeah, it looks bad. Even if it's known, right? If it's known, like, what advantage, you don't have any advantage, but still, people will be like, oh, you won your own course. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to do that. And I'm like you too. Like, I love it when people come back and they're like, man, that was a great shoot, and I get more out of that than I do out of actually shooting it. So what targets are you guys using? Are you guys using Mackenzie's, or are you using?
So we have, like, when I first started there was a mix. There was more Reinhardt than Mackenzie. and now I'm really leaning towards the Mackenzies for multiple reasons. Obviously, the way that I consider the ASA, in simple terms, I always say the ASA is the NFL and the IBO is the CFL.
Wow.
No one really knows what's going on in the CFL until the Grey Cup. A lot of people know what's going on in the NFL before the Super Bowl.
That's true.
It's just the way the ASA format is. Like if I get an 8 or a 5 in IBO, I got a lot of 11s to hit to make up for that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it more challenging because of those 2 separate rings and all that stuff, and the upper and lower. One thing I love about ASA is if you have a close target and there's 3 arrows in the lower, well, you can still go at the upper and not bounce out from a 23 bushing or something like that that's in there, right? So I'm actually trying to wean out the Reinhardt targets. I've had some issues ordering Reinhardt targets. They're really slow on shipping. I would love to go down to the States and buy a Mackenzie course from an ASA event. It's just a matter of trying to go down there and shoot an event and then bring it back. But definitely in the next couple of years, it will be only ASA Delta Mackenzie ASA targets. Another thing that's great about them too, if you break a leg off of a target, most of them you can buy just a leg. You can buy just the hind quarter. That's
cool.
amazing on its own.
Yeah, I didn't know that actually. Interesting.
Yeah.
So speaking on 3D targets, how do you lay out your course design? Like for me, we have a lot of flat ground and we have a lot of trees. So I like to play with the shadows and the trees. Like I'll put, like when we did the night shoot, I put all our black targets out on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was very popular.
Justin's
Yeah, Justin's an
Very
asshole.
popular.
Just to fucking ruin everything.
Right, and I put them closer to trees and hit everything, so it made it a little more fun. So how do you set up your course?
So we are quite limited here on this property. It's I don't know what the acreage is, but it can't be much more than 20 acres, maybe not even.
That's
So
what we
we're
were
quite
focusing
limited on lanes with like safety, like for how much space there is. I would love to when I went to the Southern Canadian Classic, that was my first time going with a thumbs up, thumbs down tournament. I love that. That's amazing. And we could grow the 3D range a lot if we did that.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue is our trail isn't straight. There's some spots
Okay.
where you wouldn't be able to see the person on your left or on your right. But basically, we got the furthest shot we'd have would be around 50 yards in the woods. So normally we have all year round, we have 17 targets set up in the woods in the dedicated 3D lanes. I try to move them around every league night, and then that ends up. So when people are coming out, it's normally different targets every other week or different locations at least on the targets. But I definitely try to get funky with the with tree coverage and stuff like that the best as I can. I think Ottawa Archers was initially more of a like a traditional archery club. So there was a lot of backstops. He was like carpet draped over like a 2x4 kind of behind the target. And I've tried to get away from that as much as I can. I try to, if it's a safe lane that there's nothing behind it kind of deal, I'll just take the backstop down, or like use a camo netting instead of, because initially when I first started going there, you have a black bear, like you're saying, right? Let's say it's a dark tunnel and there's a black bear down this tunnel. Well, if it's a gray carpet, I can see that black bear with the naked eye, right? It's not a challenging shot anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to mess around with removing a lot of the backstops we have, and we like wherever we needed backstops, we made like log walls kind of deal or stuff like that, because essentially our 3D range, probably 200-300 yards behind it, is the feed a field, which is why we kind of have to have some backstops on some targets, because there's a little bit of a hill system in one section, so you are aiming higher. But I definitely try to mess around with tight shots. Coming from a total archery background, like that was the first ever real 3D event that I had been to. And like that's dirty. There's a lot of trees. There's a lot of stuff, and it's not fun when you pinwheel a tree, but it's it is fun actually. Like the risk of it being there is fun to me, and I always try to do it. Now I've learned some stuff through hosting the league night and having some of my mentors there kind of deal, like Jamie Graham and Bob Albert. And I remember one day I had set up a target that was like, if you don't hit the tree, you hit the 12. Like it was kind of covering the left side, the left side of the 10 ring. And Bob came up to me and he was like, hey, just to let you know, in an actual 3D event, you have to be able to see the scoring rings.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, you can't cover the 8 ring. You can cover the animal, but you can't cover the 8 ring. So I learned that day, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I still try to play with that as much as I can, but it's pretty fun. I always try to make it challenging. Like our last shoot we had, that was the most challenging I have made that course so far. But I also want to see people succeed and want to see people have fun. No one, like, I went to a shoot this year that was a 60, like with the whole like K60 thing. And I watched a lot of people walk out of there kind of hanging their heads and being really upset at their score. Well, when I looked at the shoot downs afterwards, like I was upset about my score. When I looked at the shoot downs afterwards, I was like, oh, okay, I'm still like 10 points out of the shoot down. So like everyone's score was affected by it. So when I first started shooting at Ottawa, there was a lot of novelty targets, and that hurts a lot of people's scores, because if you're second shot and someone's in the 11 ring, you're going to have a really hard time getting in there because the 11 ring's the size of a dime.
Right.
So moving forward, I've always tried to get bigger targets and less novelty targets. Like by novelty, I mean like a gopher and stuff like that.
Right.
Always have big rings, because if everyone has a chance at that 11 ring, no one can complain. That was our biggest complaint we've ever had was novelty targets, small rings, stuff that people shoot in their backyard at 10 yards, but now it's at 30 yards. Like no one's going to succeed at that, and everyone's going to hang their head about it when they leave. Everyone has a goal in mind, and everyone wants to get at least close to that goal. If I can have a challenging course that still allows people to get close to that goal, I'm happy.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Justin?
I did. And I'm also glad to hear that I'm not the only one who changes targets frequently.
No more 40-yard armadillos, for Christ's sakes.
I've never put the armadillo at 40 yards. I try and keep him and the little bear at like 20 yards max. Just
20
because
yards
his
is
ring's
still
like
much.
this big.
Christ.
But no, I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one who changes targets frequently. I think it keeps people happy
For sure.
because it's not the same
100%.
target for like 4 years in a row.
Yep.
So, Julien, when you went to TAC, which is also where I met you for the first time, was that the one in Pennsylvania? Was that your second?
Third.
Third?
So I went to Vermont alone by myself 3 years ago, and then I just jumped in the truck. I was like, I'm going. I want to do this. So I went by myself, met some amazing people, lifelong friends, and then I went to Vermont the next year with 2 buddies. One of them, that was his first ever time shooting a bow at a 3D target. Like he had never shot 3D before, and he did really good actually. And then I went to Pennsylvania this year with you. Well, not with you, but that's where I met you.
Yeah. So shooting TAC, do you think that influenced how you view the targets that you set up now?
Yes and no, because when I shoot TAC, I'm using my hunting bow. When I shoot 3D, I'm using a target bow with a lens and everything. So I would say at TAC, you're gonna see some quartering away targets more, some quartering to targets more. You're gonna see some really long shots. I try to, obviously it's K50 or K40, whatever it is that you're shooting. I definitely, if I had more terrain to play with, I would definitely do more like TAC style stuff. But like we had a chat about this. I remember when we shot together, and you were like, I think it was Josh that had asked for the FDCC. He was like, what if we did like no lens or something like that? And I was like, well, if we did no lens, at the end of the day, I would just use my hunting bow.
I think he said he wanted to do just compound as a class.
Oh, okay.
It was
okay.
compounds, no
Okay.
lenses, so people could use their target bows, 32-inch stabilizers, whatever, and the hunting guys would be in the same category, and then there would be a trad category.
Yeah. So one of the things I did with the league night is I actually don't make any classes. Now we have a trad class because they shoot at 30 yards max. But everyone that is shooting, whether it's a female, male, hunting bow, target bow, everyone's in the same class. We have the guy that won this year, Travis Dio. He shoots a hunting bow, like 12-inch stabilizer max. Like he shoots the like hunter money everywhere he goes. He ended up winning, and by doing so, I found it brought everyone's skill level up. Where the hunting bow guys really had to put the pedal down. The target bow guys did as well, because now we have a bunch more people shooting target rigs at 3D targets. So I do think it affects my view as a director, though. I don't like putting my targets quartering away or quartering to very much, because that is how you end up with no target very fast.
Yeah, we tried that at FDCC. They quartered one almost 45 degrees, and that target was done.
Yeah.
The core was done after.
Was that the one where if you got the 12, you hit the fucking rebar?
That was the cinnamon bear.
That was a cinnamon bear that they did it on.
No, there was a deer or an antelope or something was quartered.
Yeah,
away.
they recorded. Then they quartered another one away as well. That
You're right. You're probably right. But
yeah,
that gulp.
Yeah.
But the
I know,
cinnamon
because I
bear
hit
was...
I lost an arrow.
So going back to range setup, do you have a signature shot at your club that everyone talks about, or do you have a favorite shot, like favorite lane?
Not
target?
so much yet, because it's still really like it's still getting built as we speak. Like, so in the past, the 3D course and the 3D shoots before I took over, there was only 17 lanes in the woods, and that left 3 lanes to be doubled up, which ended up causing bottlenecks. So over the last 2 years, like the last fall was the first time I ran. 2 falls ago was the first time I ran the tournament. So now the way it works is we shoot through the woods, and then I mow a path through the woods that ends up looping to the back of the feeder field. So that's opened up a lot of stuff, which leads me to we haven't really hosted enough events the way that I'm running them now to have people be like, oh, I like this shot, or I like this shot more. Personally, I think it really messes people up because they're shooting in the dark woods, hardwoods, bunch of leaf cover, bunch of tree cover. And then if you're running like a blue fiber and you end up coming around and now you're shooting in the field, there's no trees around. The sun's behind you, and normally I try to put like a white bedded ram, so you're running on your first target, so you really can't see your pin at all. But there's definitely some lanes that like I personally like. There's some lanes that you can stretch out pretty good, like pretty long distance. But so far, I haven't heard like, oh, I really like this lane or I really like this lane just yet, because it hasn't been the same thing over and over again.
Now you've just given Justin some ideas. So.
Oh no, I love doing that too. So you talked about the white ram. We have I think it's 23-24. It's a 40-yard shot, and when the sun comes in, it hits it just nice. And I'd always like to put a white target there, whether it's the ram or the wolf, because it all blends in and you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where that black bear used to be.
It's funny, every time I walk up to a target, I'm just waiting to see what you did to make me angry at you. Every time.
So before Justin started, I was the one who set up the courses. Like I had a bit of a different philosophy. I like scenes. I like hunting scenes, and I try to make people feel like they're for people who are hunters or whatever. That's what I was always try to set. I know this year we did a couple of joke targets where we have a standing bear and it had we have a polar bear and it had a Coca-Cola bottle in its hand.
Yeah,
That
I
sort of
rigged
thing,
it up
right?
so the Coke bottle stood in
like-
his arm, like right here, so he's holding it.
Yeah,
Something clever.
people love that stuff. So it was yeah, we got a lot of compliments on some of those scenes, and yeah, I think. And we have a couple of signature shots out there because we like our property, and love for you to come out sometime and check it out. And actually, I have some ideas. Maybe we can talk about later about your property and how to make it work. But like we have water, we have like a stream that goes through the property, and so we have a couple of shots over water, and it's like a lot of times, like there's a shot we we put the moose on the one side. And it's just like a moose, like you've seen it a million times. A moose is by the water, and that's the shot you want, right? And you kind of hide his head a little bit because that's when you want to take your shot. And then we have a gator, and we put the gator on the other beach, and that's like people love that shot. It's people always talk about that shot, right? So
It's awesome.
It's just so scenic.
It is awesome. But yeah, to get back to your course, I don't know if do you guys have it mapped out electronically, like a GIS?
So I took like my iHunter app and I walked every lane, and that way I have like the distances set.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, let's say it's Thursday morning and I'm on break at work, I'll start, like, I have a note and I'll lay out what targets I want to move to where for the league night or for the 3D shoot, and I know the distances. The main thing I always try to do, and it's hard because like our average shot is like 30 to 39 yards. The main thing I try to do all the time is to, personally, when I go to a 3D shoot and I take a shot and then I go to the next target and I only have to do like 3 clicks on my sight, that bothers me. I like it when it's like a 35-yard shot and then a 27-yard shot and then a 41-yard shot and then a 32-yard shot. Like I always try to do that, which has been my main focus with the electronic mapping. I don't know how you guys did it, but that's what I did to our course.
Well, before we took over, people used to call the tournament known 30. They would put almost everything at 30 yards, so you'd walk the course and you wouldn't even have to move your sight at all. Right? It was run by kind of like you had. It was a lot of trad shooters. Distance wasn't their real. Some of them, like I know some of the barebow guys now, they like Dylan Bravener and Brian Setchell, they like the distance now. Like when we did the FDCC at first, they're like, oh, because we were putting them at 40 yards, and we really stretched them out. And at the first tournament, I got so much bad feedback about it. But I said, listen, like guys, we're trying something new. Like we told you guys, it wasn't going to be like your everyday event. It was going to be something different. And then by the end of it, by the third CC, we got even the trad guys. I had one guy who was really vehemently against it, and he said, "You know what? This was one of the best events I'd ever been to. Like, this is fantastic. Thank you guys for putting this on." And it really challenged us. And so, there's that sort of thing. But I guess that was one of the reasons I was asking what your GIS. I don't know, like sometimes it's nice to have someone else look at it and maybe figure out how you can set up your lane so that you can have that thumbs up kind of thing. I don't know,
We have some ideas for it.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
It's just it's going to be tricky, and it's going to be my goal. My goal with Ottawa hopefully in the next year, I would really like to set up, like make a completely different course for the 3D shoots. The way we have the woods set up right now works best for like when the weekend warrior people show up. I don't know if they want to do thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't know if they understand thumbs up, thumbs down. When the tournament shooters show up, most of them understand thumbs up, thumb down. I'm there to make sure they're doing it. So, and I would really like to do this because it would give the local boys no real advantage.
Yeah.
Where it's not where they normally shoot that target, right? Like that's not the lane. Like that way you could actually run an unknown class as well. Because if we run an unknown class right now, most of those people shot that target with a buffer of 5 yards, maybe, at that lane. So my goal in the next year, like probably this winter, would be to go and chop a couple trees that we can chop. It's not our land. It's we rent it off of someone, and he basically has it as a nature preserve, so he doesn't like it when we cut big trees down. So my goal would be to kind of revamp the woods to have one lane running. We have a ridge, and we'd basically be shooting down the ridge instead of up the ridge. Kind of have one lane going all the way down, and then you would have our targets where you normally walk. And that would be nice because, like I said, like me that always shoots there, I wouldn't have an advantage versus you, Chris, you, Justin, you, Misha. If you guys came down, it's brand new for everyone.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. That could work.
It's a lot of work, but I like work.
Man, that's you and Justin will get along just fine.
Oh yeah.
Justin, you should give him your ankle cutting weed whacker, man. Holy shit.
Buddy, we
Go
bought a brand
after
new
all
weed
that.
whacker this year. A nice steel with a metal cutting blade on it.
Nice.
It does it does grass, shrubs, trees, you name it, it'll knock it down.
I remember showing
Nice.
up to the range that one day when you had that thing and basically shirtless, walking around, cutting everything right in front of you. I was like, this is like a grown man, like a kid on Christmas with this thing. You
100%
were
was.
smiling ear to ear using that thing, cutting shit down.
It's
man.
got a
Oh,
motor.
Yeah, so one of those things at Ottawa Archers, you can create as many lanes as you want with that
Yeah.
thing. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely some stuff in the works for sure. For mainly, we need more targets. We need more storage for targets. That's hard. I've
Boy.
actually ran the idea through the board of maybe selling some Reinhardt targets because just like last year, I bought 3 Delta Mackenzie targets, and for the same price, I bought 5 cores for Reinhardt targets. So that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
And I got the Delta Mackenzie targets a week later. The Reinhardt targets took 3 months to get here, and by the time they got here, tariffs were in play.
Yeah.
So I ended up spending like $900 extra on them for cores. Not even a target, just cores.
I know, that's insane.
That's wild.
We're doing I think we're doing 43 new cores this year for our Reinhardts. We're doing ASA, well, however Reinhardt does ASA cores. We wanted to do Reinhardts as well. We wanted to go to an ASA event and actually buy 2 courses. The only problem was we had a shed collapse this year because of the snow, and we had to build. And Justin, Justin was right. We needed more storage anyways. So we put together a whole bunch of new sheds. That cost us we spent so much money on sheds this year.
Almost $4,000.
Yeah, you might, and you kind of know it, right? You're running. You're like us. You're running on a shoestring. Spitting haywire to keep everything together. I think this year we tried to fix some of the targets with I can't remember, foam at 45 or foam at 15
flex
or
foam
something
at
like that.
15.
Yeah.
Yep.
It works great, but it's just like how, and then I guess this will be the next thing we talk about is just managing like volunteers. Like we're pretty lucky. I'll be honest. Like I have 20 guys. If I put an email tomorrow and I say I need to build this, I'll have 20 guys show up. Sometimes I have too many.
Awesome.
I have more guys than I have work. Right? Like clean up this year. I had 30 people, and I'm like, they're like, what do I do now? What do I do? I'm like, I don't know, because there's really nothing left to do.
I have a hard time with managing volunteers. Like I'm such a what I do as a job. I work alone all day.
Okay.
And I do stuff from start to finish by myself. I know how I want to do it. I'm not the best at saying it. I can be quite rude when I'm saying it sometimes. So when it comes to like setting up the 3D range and stuff like that, like for league night or even for the tournaments, I have it ingrained in my head what I want to do, and I have a hard time telling people what I want and how I want to do it. But this year, Jamie Graham, who's been shooting 3D for years, he's been a very big mentor in all of this for me, and he volunteered to fix a bunch of targets. So we had a lot of Delta Mackenzie targets that were the old style, which didn't have the removable core, but they still look just like the current like tournament targets, and basically I couldn't get a core for them. And Jamie brought, like, I would drop off 2-3 targets at a time at his place, and he bought like the big kit of Flex Foam at 15, dye, the whole, like, everything. And he fixed a lot of them up, and I made a branding iron at work that was like a 5-inch circle, because that's one thing that's nice about ASA targets. Every single one of them, the rings are the same size.
Yeah.
Not the 8 ring, but the 10, 12, that's the same size every time. So I made a branding iron, and we would just, like, he would fix the shot up section, flex foam it. When you do flex foam it and you do it like the way they say, it works pretty good, because with that like saran wrap or whatever you use, you end up getting some texture back into the target. And then Jamie would take like a flap wheel on a grinding disc and would give it some, like, follow the texture lines kind of deal. And like, a lot of those targets are awesome. They're beautiful targets now, and they last a long time. Like that flex foam, and if you get the mixture just right, it's it's self-healing foam. Like, that stuff is good.
That's what Luis, one of the gentlemen, he's a member of our club. He's also a member at Peel, and they did a bear. He told me they did the black bear and the flex foam it, and he must have got the mixture right. He said he's put like 500 arrows in that thing, and he's like, it's still healing. I'm like, so that's why we got it, and then we tried it out. I haven't put the targets out yet. Some of the colors were a little bit off. We tried doing the dye, and we'd have like 10 guys working on it, so it became a bit of a mess. But yeah, we gotta just scrape them down and do the same thing, put them out. I think that's what we're gonna do for our members. So like when it comes to like budgeting, again, I looked at your website. I was looking at how much money you guys charge for memberships, and it's not a lot.
No, it's not a lot. It's not a lot, and I do think we will up it a little bit this year. Like, that was my biggest selling feature when I was shooting at that pit down the road. I was going to buy a 3D target to go set up there. Well, a cheap 3D target is around $300.
Yeah, which isn't cheap.
So at that time, I think it was $80 just to be a yearly member at Ottawa Archers, which you can go shoot anytime you want from sun up to sundown. This year was $90, I think.
Oh, okay.
And that's the reason it's, I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but the reason we can get that low cost is because you need to have your Archery Ontario membership or your OFAA membership. That's how we get the insurance. That's how every archer is covered.
So that you don't insure the property, you insure each one of your archers?
They basically have independent insurance through that.
Okay.
Now we also, I'm pretty sure, I don't know all of the logistics because I'm just the archery, like the 3D director, but I'm pretty sure that we do pay a fee to Canada Archery or Ontario Archery to be like a registered club or something like that, I think. But that's how we always got away with it and had such a low cost. This year, with the cost of everything, like if it costs you $2,000 now to buy a Matthews, well, it's also going to cost you $100 to be a member here. Like it can't be, and with the way the club is going and how it's much nicer to shoot at it now, I to spend $100 a year to shoot from sun up to sundown through the winter, through the summer, whenever you want, at like, I don't know, let's say roughly $25,000 worth of targets.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yep. No, you're right.
Pretty good.
I totally agree. Like we charge $175 for an individual for the year and $225 for a family.
Yes, that's correct.
For the year. And the family is whoever lives in your house. For me, it's like, I don't want to track this stuff, like, what am I going to do? Take it, everyone give me your driver's license. I want to make sure you have the same address, right? Like, come on. Well, like, if you want to rip us off for $225, who's that on? It's not on me, right? Like, again, like, I want as many people out to shoot as possible. We also have $90 for kids. Like, there's some parents, their kids want to shoot, they don't want to shoot. So I say, like, you want to walk around with your kid and he's got a bow and he wants to shoot, $90. Like, go ahead. I want kids out there. Like, we're going to spend $12,000 in targets this year and just buying cores. Yeah. So and the rest of it goes to Justin having to cut the lawn and that sort of thing, building a shed or clearing trees or whatever, right? So It's like so like I manage projects for a living, so like for me like it's natural. Like no, we do. So I'm lucky because Justin's wife helps me do cost forecasting, all that stuff. So we really maintain our budget really well. It's something, but it's tough. Like it like this year, like because this year, like I said, we wanted to do ASA. We wanted to go down and do a shoot and buy like two courses, and actually because we wanted to be we want to be an ASA club at the end of the day. By the end of it, our tournaments, I think ASA is the way to go. And I don't know if you know, but we're doing provincials this year, Rural City, and we're doing we're doing the same format as Bruno does for SEC, like the sort of that ASA format, 20 targets a day instead of 40 targets a day. So do 20 targets a day and a shoot off on a Sunday.
So it's like a two-day tournament you're doing this year?
Just like provincials is always 2 days, but it used to be 240 target days, because it doesn't end till like 6 o'clock and it's hot and it's and it's not. I don't think like people used to love it. Like I did provincials in 2023. That's what it was. It was I did it at AIM, which 40 targets there is you're climbing Everest and then you're coming back down Everest to do because it is quite the hilly place, man. It's great club. Like the guy who runs it, Gord Shields, fantastic gentleman. But it's a hard course. It's a lot of walking. You got to be a Billy Goat. But you guys have done TAC, so you kind of it's not as bad as TAC, but it's an Ontario mountain. So for what that's worth.
So you're saying for the provincials, how, like, this could be an off-air conversation, but is the ball in your court for how the format runs?
No. I made a bid to the Archery Ontario to say, listen, given the weather that we're having now, given that a lot of these tournaments, you look at Porcupine, you look at all these guys are all popular tournaments. Why are we still using this format when the numbers are dwindling? Why don't we try an ASA format where the numbers, the numbers are strong everywhere else? Maybe that's due to prizes, maybe that's due to something, but maybe it is due to format, and you know what I mean? So I made the bid. Somebody else that was making the bid as well, that they just changed the format to 220 target days. He's a senior, and he's also saying that he wants different divisions, senior 50, senior 60, which I'm definitely willing to accommodate. We try to accommodate that as best we can at our tournaments, but we made that bid to Archery Ontario. They accepted it as a trial, and we're going to try it out this year. So see how it goes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to do our best with Reinhardt ASAs. That's what we got. I'm going to try to so Larry Reed, the archery director of Archery Ontario, says we're allowed to burn in because there's some ASA targets from Reinhardt you only get one circle in the corner, so we'll just burn the other circle in. But we'll do our best, and we're really looking forward to doing it and see how it goes. And
sure,
yeah, we've come a long way doing events. Like I remember the first time I did an event. Sorry, I'm doing all the talking, but
no, that's all right.
So we need to do better. Like we need to. Like we do pre-registration. You know what flack I got for pre-registration? Just asking people to send in to say you're coming to my event, and if you didn't do that, you weren't allowed to come to the event. I got so much flack for it. It's ridiculous. Like
I was talking about that this year. I was like, we should just do pre-registration.
Yeah, man.
That way we know exactly what to expect the next day.
Yeah.
And then another thing, like on that Reinhardt core note. When you order your cores, phone them and ask them, because they used to have the Delta McKenzie. No, they used to have the ASA contract before Delta took over.
Okay.
Back when, and this is all stuff that I learned through talking to them. The Universal one is they call basically, I don't think they can call it the ASA.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they call it Universal
because Delta has it. So when you do buy an ASA one, it only has the lower.
Right.
Which is what I learned. I don't know if it's new news to you or not, but I'm just telling you that because I got pissed, man.
Yeah, because I knew it going in because I talked to Gord shields, and he was telling me, yeah, you're going to get some targets with just one circle in it, and it's just because they have a whole bunch of old cores that when they used to do ASA when there was one circle, and I
Yeah.
guess they send that over to you. So, but you won't make it work. Like I got some good guys on staff, so like I've got like Justin and whatever. We'll figure all that out. But yeah, so yeah, just getting back to that, it's pretty exciting for us. Like we're really excited to do it. My wife's also on the board, so she's the athletics director. She runs the 3D team, and she runs that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. We'll talk about that in a second. But
Yep.
yeah, she runs a 3D team, and she helps Justin with organizing the events, and then I also help, and Misha helps as well. So
A little bit,
I don't.
tiny bit.
Where am I going? A little bit, yeah.
I take no credit.
I noticed
Justin
that.
always
I
tries to give me.
noticed.
Justin always tries to give me all the credit after, so I always have to cut him off. So
Yeah.
Go ahead, Julien.
I
Sorry.
noticed when I was at the Southern Canadian, people had like matching jerseys,
That's
and I was
us.
like, oh, like these people must have a little bit of a team going, and some of the guys at Ottawa wanted to do that. Some of the guys have some Ottawa Archers jerseys. Initially, I was like, I don't know, like I kind of like wearing my Sitka shirt, like it's comfy. It's comfier than the jersey that you're wearing. Moving forward, we might do something like that. I found it pretty cool how CJ was sporting one in the shoot down. It was cool to see that. Just how like it's kind of a tight knit community where you guys are.
Yeah, and it also advertises your club, right? And and it showcases it. I find it helps to showcase those shooters as well. Even though it showcases the club, but it's like, oh, what's that guy wearing? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, that's CJ. He's wearing a Royal City, or that's Misha. He's wearing a. The other thing too, what it does, you go to a shoot, and you don't think you're going to know anybody, and then you're looking across the pond, and there's a purple shirt there, and it's like, oh, geez, there's Eric, there's Justin hanging out with James and whoever, right? So, and we actually got a lot of compliments about it from people at Southern Canadian. We're not the first club to do it. York County has done it as well. But my wife designed helped. She worked with a graphic designer to design the shirts. So he's a gentleman out of Hamilton Archery. Thanks, Jake, for helping us out. Like he's really good guy. Really, he does all the art that I don't know if you've seen Hamilton Archery, but when they go to events, they all have the same jersey as well. So they have like a black and gold sort of, or black and yellow kind of design. And Jake came up with that. They really stand. Like when you go to Lancaster, if you're watching it on YouTube, you'll see a bunch of yellow jerseys walking around, and that's like Hamilton Archers. It's kind of cool, and that's what kind of gave us that idea too. And again, it creates a community, it creates camaraderie. And like I said, like you're saying, when you first go to a shoot, sometimes like, I don't know if I'm gonna know anybody, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a purple and gold shirt over there. Cool, I can go talk. Well, at least I can talk to that guy and what have you. So yeah. But so those are just some ideas that we just. Again, it's like I said, it's like this podcast, like for this series, is going to be kind of like an idea sharing kind of thing, where we're probably going to steal some of your ideas, and you're welcome to steal some of ours. And again, it's all in the same vein that we just want to make it better for archers, right? So
Yep.
So looking forward, what's coming up in Ottawa for tournaments and etc.
Coming up in Ottawa currently, so I'm the director at Ottawa Archers. We don't have a spot to shoot indoors.
Okay.
There is a range that is indoors. It's the RA Center, kind of closer to the downtown region in Ottawa. It's a 20-yard. You can shoot 35 yards, I think, in there, but mainly people go there to shoot spots. It's just butts up against the wall kind of deal. And I would really like to. I'm trying to push to host an indoor male match. So last summer, I shot the outdoor male match at Ottawa Archers. So every Tuesday after work, I would head down there with a few buddies, and we would shoot 50-meter, like a 720 round. I call it like a 660 round because that's all I ever shot. But I find shooting spots is so good for archers. The paper don't lie. When you're shooting 3D, you can shoot. The hinge
doesn't lie, now the paper doesn't lie.
Don't lie. It never lies. But basically, when you're shooting 3D, you can aim in the completely wrong spot and pull a bad shot and nail a 12
Mm-hmm.
and be very happy. And so that's good. It's good. And that's why we love 3D, because that happens. Luck is either on your side or against you. But when you're shooting paper, you really break down your form. You really break down your attention, your panic. And last year I went to the RA and shot 3D. No, I shot paper all winter. And I saw my scores on paper and on 3D just climb like crazy. With my form, with my attention, with taking my time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was a completely different archer, I think, after shooting spots all winter. So I'm trying to run. Obviously, it's going to start whenever male matches start, if it does. I'm kind of waiting on them. But for next year, obviously there will still be like male match every Saturday morning, every Tuesday. We do the male match. We're still going to have the league night for 3D. Tournaments, obviously we're gonna run 2 tournaments. I would like to one day focus really hard on one big tournament.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so many weekends in a summer. There's only so many weekends that don't collide with another 3D shoot
Mm-hmm.
or with a holiday. You never want to run your tournament on a holiday weekend. So that only leaves so many weekends in all of this. And then what basically happens to us every year is our fall tournament ends up being like in the fall, like really
Okay.
close to hunting season or during the opener of moose season.
Deer.
For example, next year, I'm going to be going out west at the start of September for an elk hunt. Well, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Now, when I come back from that, it's going to be duck season. So we're going to lose a bunch of people to that. So it's hard. It's tricky. I still don't even have my dates figured out for our tournaments because I'm kind of bouncing ideas. Like I don't want to do it during the turkey opener.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it during the moose opener. So I don't know what to do. Like
Yeah. Don't ruin my moose season.
No, exactly. So it's tricky. Definitely, I want to get some better targets out there. Like it's always going to be a target game. It's so hard to maintain those targets and not shoot them up. Like I don't want people coming out. Basically, what ends up biting us at Ottawa is that we only have like 30 targets. Say 20 of those are really good. Well, I'm an avid archer. I love practicing. If I can't see rings, I'm not really practicing.
Mm-hmm.
So all year round, we have like really good targets out all year round. Well, come to the tournament, those
They're not
targets
super
aren't really that
targets.
good anymore. They're not
No,
tournament
no.
targets anymore,
Yeah,
right? But I
it's
feel
the same
bad
thing.
robbing. I feel bad robbing our members that don't participate in those tournaments.
Right.
Let's say they're busy that weekend. Well,
Yeah.
like I didn't see these targets. I
And
couldn't
let's be
shoot
honest,
rings
they
all
pay
summer.
for them, right? It's their memberships, right? They
do.
pay for them, so why they got to
They
be able
do.
to use them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another tough. That's another tough one too. I don't know. Like I think I asked this of almost every other when I talk to other archery directors. How do you like? So the tournament guys are easy. The competitive guys are easy to make happy, right? You just have to have nice targets, set them up nice. It's the casual shooter. I don't know how to because we don't get a lot of turnover anymore. We used to get a lot of turnover, and it was mostly casual shooters. But now even the casual shooters are sticking around. I don't know what I've done different. I know because one guy he he was a member and he asked, yes, well, what do you do for casual shooters? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a casual shooter, so I don't even know how to relate to that, right? But I know we've done some pancake breakfasts and we've done some different barbecue things, and we ran a beginners event this year,
that was a lot of
which
fun.
was really good. Like we did it with the local bow shop.
Yeah, Shooter's
So
Choice.
Shooter's Choice came out. They brought a bunch of bows and
That's amazing.
yeah, and they were like they even footed the bill for the food. Like they were good to work with. Like James and Trevor from Shooters are really good to work with.
I wish we had a local bow shop, and don't cut it out.
No,
Like
I agree with
just like Bruno's running the gauntlet on all of us to get ASA stuff and all that stuff. I appreciate that. We
Yeah.
need to force people to do better. I understand the local bow shops we have here are hunting shops. I totally understand it. I don't know how to put a scope on a gun, but I'm sure I could watch a YouTube video on how to do it, buy a torque wrench, do it all up, and I could build one gun that us 4 could shoot.
Mhm.
So for that person working at Cabela's or working at the bow shop around here, it's a lot of time and effort for the same price as a gun that they bore sighted, and you're going to be able to hit paper at 100 yards, right? So I would love to see a bow shop come up to us and like that beginners thing. You were just mentioning that, and I'm like, oh man, like your memberships are going to go up, and that bow shop is probably going to sell at least 50%. Like 50% of the people that shot that tournament, that beginner shoot with a shooter's choice bow, I guarantee 50% of the people went and bought bows, or they will.
We actually
Yeah,
got a membership, to a few memberships out of it.
Yeah, we got a couple memberships out of it.
Father-son combo actually got a membership and went and bought bows at the bow shop.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Like it's such a good idea.
Yeah. And it was the bow shop's idea. They approached us, and we were like, yeah, we'll do it. We're in.
That's so smart.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
So we'll have like open house days. But the issue with me is like I've never shot a trad bow. I've never shot a Genesis bow. I can't tell someone like, yeah, this is how you do it. I don't know how to do that. So when we'll have like a family day or like an open house day where anyone can just come walk around, and half the time people come out and they're like, I don't have a bow. But I'm like, well, just like go walk the course and see how amazing it is. You can't shoot my bow. Like you're 12 years old and you have 22-inch arms.
Yeah, exactly. And really, you don't want anyone shooting your bow even if they have the right draw like that, anyways, right? So
yeah, I was leaving that part out, but
especially a beginner. Thanks for blowing up my $2,200 bow.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's like getting new archers into it is tricky. Like I've had this idea, and I sat down with Carl Jones. Carl's been a huge part of all this too. Like his support, whether I'm present or not. Like the nice stuff he says about me and Ottawa archers is amazing, and that's what fuels the fire. He'd be a great guest to have on. Like Carl's an amazing person, and Carl Jones from Porcupine Hollow, for the people that don't know. But I was mentioning to him, I was like, I'd love to run a 3D shoot indoors, like 50-yard max this winter. Because in my opinion, like, right, it's going to be hard to pull people from the Toronto area in the summer when there's another shoot happening down in the Toronto area. But in the dead of winter, when there's nothing going on and everyone's just watching Netflix, well, if I catch wind that there's a 50-yard shoot at Royal City, I'm heading down there. I don't care what, like, I don't have anything going on most weekends in the winter.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, it's going to be tricky to run a 50-yard shoot indoors for the sake that not everyone shoots from 50 yards. So we have indoor 3D shoots here that are like in a high school gym, and it's pretty much like the furthest shot would be like corner to corner, and it's like, I don't know, 38 yards, let's say, maybe. Everyone shoots from the same line. So if we have 50-yard targets, well, now the 14-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid, well, now he has to shoot from 50 yards. So that's kind of been you're not going to be able to put a stake closer. You're not going to be able to put a closer target. So that's kind of what I've been battling with. And Carl sent me the other day, he sent me a beautiful building on the internet that was like for rent, and it's perfect for it. Like it's heated, it's perfect. Like my girlfriend rides horses. Every time I go watch her ride a horse in an arena, I'm like, can I just pull up my rangefinder really quick? Like I think we could get 56 yards out of this place.
Actually, yeah, we had considered the same kind of thing. It was like a horse. What do you call it? Arena. You could do one out of there. It would be it would work.
Yeah, it would be freaking
We're
awesome.
also playing with that idea, but I'm not allowed to talk too much about it. But we're playing
That's
with that
all
idea
right.
right now too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like
I talked about it with CJ at Porcupine. I was like, dude, like we got to get together on this and do something. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like,
tons of people, dude. They used to run. So they used to run one. It was called I can't remember what it was called, but they were up to 1,500 people coming to an event. 15, and not just Canadians or Americans would come up too. That's what Josh Webb was telling me. So like if like again, it's growing the sport. It's people. I always think you got to put ideas out there, and someone will grab that idea. Like the FDCC was, CJ put it out there, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I throw my club in there and whatever. And because I kind of had an idea as well to have an inter club thing, but it was more going to be just the clubs kind of battling against each other. We would have like I'd invite Waterloo over, and they'd invite me over, and we'd do that kind of thing. But then CJ was like, no, let's do it like a league, right? Like a league, but it's open to everybody, and we do 3 shoots. And yeah, I was like, yeah, that's even better. So
I heard there used to be a thing called the Seaway Classic or something like that, which was like, I don't know if it was Ottawa Archers, but I think it was like Cornwall, Grenville, and Napanee, and they would have like a triple crown with like among themselves.
Yeah,
and like I love that idea for sure.
Yeah,
so smart.
Yeah, it is. It's like I always have these crazy ideas. So like for me, I think I was mentioned this to Gary, but this was after the show. Like we need to have things like kind of these like these rivalries, right? It's fun, but it's still. And the other thing is you could. Again, I'm thinking out loud, but televising some of this stuff, or not televising, whatever you call it now, YouTubing it or whatever, streaming this kind of stuff live, like having these pre-game or pre-shoot interviews, like because like at the FDCC, I had we have a newer shooter, Benoit Boulet, who won the whole thing, right? And he's kind of like, and I remember Josh Webb after the thing, he came up to him and said, "Hey, I want a rematch against you," because I think Josh lost by like 2 or 3 points, right? He's like, "I want a rematch." Like if you were to put that on YouTube, and like I don't know, archery maybe it's not the most viewer friendly thing, but if you had those kind of things attached to it, I think that would make. And I know like it sounds kind of, maybe it sounds a little silly, but
no,
I think those kind of things, like even like and it's kind of like an idea I was thinking with like Bruno's events and Carl's events, like record the shoot offs, man. People love watching shoot offs. I watch every freaking ASA shoot off, every one of them.
Yep.
Because it's
same here.
Awesome. It's exciting, right? That's like for archers, it's so exciting. So, if we could do that kind of thing here in Ontario, I think that would really help grow the sport too, right? And
yeah, with the nationals coming to, I think the nationals are going to be in Ontario somewhere this year, potentially.
It's gonna be an AIM.
Yeah. So I remember when it first came out, I don't know who it was, but someone from like the East was kind of like posting stuff versus like some of the podcasters from the West being like, "Come on down, boys, like East versus West. Let's make this happen." And it would be so cool to see a good turnout at those events, like East versus West rivalries. Like we have some great shooters down here now that are, I say we've always had good shooters.
Yeah, for sure.
But now with these shoots that we're having, like the ASA shoots and the FDCC, we're finally seeing it all through internet, through being at those shoots. Like I've never been to an FDCC shoot, but I've seen it all, and I've seen the posts being made, and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty fun. Like I like this.
So we'll just start wrapping up, Julien. We do a couple of things here on the show. One of them is a quick fire round, and I think we'll get. I don't know if Misha or Justin have the questions ready to go, but if you guys do, let's give Julien some quick fire questions.
Okay, so what is your favorite target animal? So all of your targets that you have, what is your favorite 3D target?
It would probably have to be, I'd say the Wolverine, the Delta Mackenzie Wolverine. Everyone hates it. It's very intimidating, but it's one of the easiest to aim off of, in my opinion, because it's so small. If you can see that Wolverine, you can pretty much see the 10 ring. The 10 ring's about the size of that animal, like height wise, and then it's got that line going through it, which personally I'll normally aim on the upper on that target if it's an ASA shoot, because I know if I'm like half an inch above that line, I'm in the upper. That would be my favorite target.
Yes. Okay, 2-part question here. Okay, so what's your current target bow setup? And then if you had an unlimited amount of money, what is your dream bow setup?
So my current target bow setup is a TRX 40. I've got a Achieve XP sight on it. I've got an Ultra View scope with a 6 powered lens. Got just shrewd bars on it. I love that bow. I've got X Limit strings on it. I love those strings. I love that bow. It's a very forgiving bow. I have a swap rest on it, so I can actually shoot 2 different diameter arrows. So when I'm shooting 3D and my sight is dialed for my 3D arrow because I changed my yardage. So when I'm shooting 3D, I have one body that's adjusted to that arrow, correspondent with my sight. And then when I shoot 50 meter outdoor, I have like 4mm VAP arrows, very skinny. This one actually has a broken knock on it from getting smashed. But I love that swap rest. Now, the reason I love that TRX is by moving the rest, and this is where I'm going to segue into my next bow that I would like. By moving the rest, you can fix a paper tear, which is good for that swap rest and shooting 2 arrows. If I had unlimited amounts of money, I would, without a doubt, buy a Matthews title for the reason that, and this is where it would suck. So I would actually need 2 bows then. I would need 2 titles because I don't think the swap rest would work on a title to get a perfect tear on both arrows. I think the way they have that limb set up, how it's so wide, if you have not a perfect bullet hole, you can move your rest quite a bit on them and it won't adjust that tear, which leads me to think that wide of a limb helps with torque and it doesn't. So basically, moving your rest to fix your tear is essentially the same thing that happens when you torque your bow. You move your rest, you get a bad arrow flight, you go left or right. So I think with the fact, and this is all like, I have shot a title, but never really, like, I don't have my own. I've never played with one myself. There's a really good shooter, Matt Albert, that has 2 titles now. He was telling me he had to do a lot of work with shimming his cams to get a perfect bullet hole, and I was like, dude, like, it's like you're taking off like a thou. Like, just move your rest a thou. Like call it a day, man. And he was like, no, like, it's moving my rest doesn't fix it on this bow. And I was like, man, like, I bet you that bow, you can pretty much, like, torque is inexistent on that bow almost because of how wide that limb is.
Yeah.
So I think if I love my bow, I love the setup I have right now, unless I like fall into a lot of money somehow. I won't be changing it anytime soon. But if I had unlimited amounts of money, I would have a Title 40 for 50 meter, and I would have a Title 38 for 3D.
Nice. I love how much thought you put into this, man. Like,
Man, so much thought.
Holy shit.
Sorry, boys. Like, I know it's rapid fire here, but
that's
let me
fine.
nerd out for a second, please.
no, like, it's like crazy how knowledgeable you are of just the minimal stuff like that.
And I've only been doing it for like five years seriously.
That's,
like 4 years.
That's brutal. Chris?
You guys are doing the rapid fire, not me.
All right.
Boy.
I got one more.
That's a problem.
Okay. When you started shooting archery, what was the main reason you wanted to start shooting? Was it for hunting or was it for target wise?
It was for hunting. So I don't come from a hunting family. My dad like trapped rabbits and stuff like that when he was younger. But I got into hunting through friends and stuff like that. And I mainly did like waterfowl hunting because I always said like, oh, it's boring. Like you sit in a tree all day and you're boring. And then I got into the bows, and I love how archery, like my season is not 2 weeks, it's 3 months. Now that I elk hunt, it's actually 3.5 months. So I definitely started on the hunting side of things. I love hunting. I love target archery.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm shooting target archery for a long time, like throughout the summer, I love it. But I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get out hunting. And then I get into a tree and I don't shoot my bow for like 2 months. Yeah, I'm actively hunting, but I'm not shooting my bow because there's not much walking in front of me, or my target buck isn't in front of me or whatever. And I find myself when I'm in the tree, I'm like, oh man, I wish it was just like a crisp, nice, warm Thursday evening after work, all the boys are shooting league night.
Yeah, you definitely miss out on that kind of stuff during hunting season. I haven't shot my bow since September. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
got
what I
it
mean.
tuned for my
Wow.
broadheads right now. I haven't shot it. I probably should make sure that it's still sighted in properly. I've, bringing the bow down from the tree like with the rope, and it's hitting tree limbs on the way down. It's probably messed up right now, but no, I was the same way though growing up. Like, I was, most of the people in my family only really waterfowl hunted. My cousin and my uncles did deer hunting, but they used crossbows, or only two of them used compound bows, and at the same time they rarely went out. So for me, most of my hunting was waterfowl, and I got my first buck with a rifle, so like it wasn't archery wise, and yeah, so pretty similar.
Yeah, it's last question, quick fire. I guess I'll do it. See, and it's a little bit of a selfish one. Your dream guest for a future letdown episode.
I'm gonna go with Chris Perkins. He's when people think of Canada, like Canadian archery,
Mhm.
I think Chris Perkins. Like,
Me
he
too.
is the one shooter that has made it really big in compound archery. Like, I can't even think of the amount of things that he's won. I got to meet him this year and spoke with him for a while, and like, he's an awesome person, and I think he'd be an awesome guest.
Cool. Awesome. So, and then the final tradition of the letdown is to tell us about something that's let you down this year, or moment where you should have let down and didn't.
My own mind is my answer for that, and that's what I have to work on this winter and next year. So, to the point where, like, I was talking to my therapist one day and I was like, "Do you do sports therapy? Because, like, I need this. Like, I really need this." So I have this issue that happens, and I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat. Tournaments are won on day 2. Tournaments are won on round number 2 if it's a one-day tournament. We don't have live scoring in 3D. So on day 1, even let's say I'll use the Southern Canadian Classic as this is not as an example. At the Southern Canadian Classic this year, I was shooting with Jason Birchmeyer, who won the K50 class on day 1. Shooting with him, Stefan Go, and a girl. Oh, I forgot her name. But anywho, basically shooting against myself that whole first day. I don't know what other people are shooting like, other than who is in my current group. I had Jason Birchmeyer, who was lighting it up, and I had 2 other archers with me that were shooting pretty good, and I was shooting great. I was happy. I was smiling. I was laughing. I was cracking jokes, and ended up shooting 6 up. I was tied for 5th. My goal was to make the shoot down. I was tied for 5th, so technically I was in the running for it. Day 2, I wake up and I'm like, okay, it's game time. No more laughing. I completely changed my demeanor. That bit me so bad. I was not having fun anymore. I was hitting 5s. I was hitting 8s. I think I ended up 12 down on day 2. I ended up like 14th or 15th place, maybe 13th. And it just, I dropped. And I remember at one point, Jason was one target over from me, and he looked at me and he was like, "Bud, you got to have fun. Like, you're not being who I was shooting with yesterday. It's because obviously when you catch 5s, you catch 8s, you're not going to be having as much fun. But I have to get out of my own head so bad and just try to focus on the fundamentals and just do me, like, have fun. Like, I'll catch 5 sometimes and I'll joke about it.
Mm-hmm.
Where when I'm in a tournament setting, it really got the best of me, and it really let me down. Like, I was so upset when I left there. And it's just a game, but I'm a competitive person, and it really bothered me. And I'm trying to paper is good for that, in my opinion. Like, I was en route for a 299 the other day, which would have been my best score.
Wow.
And I read the book called With Winning in Mind.
Great book.
And in one of his spots, and it's so true, he says, like, the human brain will level out, will even itself out. I don't know if that's exactly what he says, but basically it works off the principle that if I'm shooting really good, at one point my mind's going to be like, dude, you're shooting too good, and almost drop a shot. Where if you're shooting really bad, you'll hit that really good shot out of nowhere that you wouldn't expect to do. And that's what happened that day. Is I was like, I think I was on my last stand and I hit 2 8s. And I was like, oh man, like, dude, what the hell? But just trying to work on my mental game. Archery is like so mentally draining. And like, I love it for that aspect. My girlfriend she's pretty hard on me about it. And she'll be like, I always played team sports growing up, where team sports, it's not all you. It's not all me that made the hockey team lose. It's a team game. This archery game is strictly me and the bow. And really, it's just me, because the bow's not changing much unless I drop it or something. So it's just me. And I need to work on that for sure. Like, that's my biggest goal for this year.
Well, next time I'll partner you up with Justin. This guy is unfallible. He never stops smiling. He's always laughing. He's always having fun. So I'm the exact opposite. If I shoot a 5, I'm done. Forget it. I don't want to shoot anymore.
You just got to let that roll off. It's your next shot. It's your next shot. I know, I get it. You like Chris, but it's your next shot you got to worry about. It's not think of it if you ever shot trap or any of that stuff. It's not the shot that you missed. It's your next shot coming up. And the angrier you get, now you just start sucking even more. Now you're like, oh, I got another 5, right? Then you get another 5 and you're like, I want to throw this bow, right?
Yep, 100%.
So Julien, it's been awesome. Like, this was great. Loved hearing how you approach 3D. Love what you're doing there in Ottawa. That's awesome. And, I think we kind of see the future of the sport. We kind of see eye to eye on that. So before we wrap it up, do you want to say anything about Ottawa Archers, or you have any socials you want to advertise or anything like that?
Ottawa Archers on Facebook is our page. I'm gonna try to, whenever we do get our dates figured out for our tournaments, I'll try to add them on the Archery Ontario list, so anyone can find them on there as well. It's been an amazing year, and it's been unreal seeing everyone come together. And by everyone, I don't just mean people in Ottawa. I mean everyone in Ontario, everyone in Nova Scotia that comes down to Porcupine Hollow and all that stuff, or Halifax, wherever they're coming from, out east. And the support I've had from Carl, from Jamie, from Matt, from all the boys at the range, it's amazing. Like, together we can make this thing happen, and I think it is on its way to doing it for sure.
Agreed. Yeah.
Misha, tell us where we can find you on social media. Instagram, my personal is Misha Corso, and then Stray Sons Archery on Instagram and YouTube.
And you want to tell people they can get a T-shirt?
Oh yeah, there's a recent drop of new design T-shirts designed by me in Canada, made in Simcoe, Ontario. Right now it's just on Etsy. I don't have a website up yet. I'm designing one, trying to make it so it's easy to navigate, and it actually looks nice for people to look at. So right now it's just on Etsy. The link will be in the bio of the Instagram page.
Nice.
And you can find me at Sittin' Wolf on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook on Chris Crunch, and you can find the Letdown Podcast on both Instagram and Facebook. Justin.
Yeah, and you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram. I don't know my Instagram name. I probably should. I don't go on it very often. But thanks again, Julien, for being on the show. It was an absolute blast. And when you post your shoots, I hope we can actually go to your shoots, because I would actually like to go.
Appreciate that.
Make sure that you post it sooner rather than later, so I can let my girlfriend know that I'll be gone.
Yes.
I know.
5-hour drive
to
for me,
work
man.
on it so hard.
That's right. It's
I gotta get my
should be coming out in
girlfriend.
the next couple of weeks. We have a board meeting coming up, so I'll be talking about it then. And yeah, I forgot about myself. My name, Julien Simard, on Facebook, and on Instagram my handle is Julien Simard 56. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us,
so
man.
much.